Hello, it has been a little bit, and I have something to show you all that's a work in progress. It's not going to be done for a while. I'll get to that in a minute, but this is my first custom. It's a work in progress. Not much work's been done to it, but most of the easy work's been done. So, we have this Tommy Edward here. As you all know, or as some of you may know, I got this at Goodwill without a tender. It was in a bag for $10. I never found a use for him, but now he's gonna have a use. So I redrew the eyebrows for a start. That's kind of poor, but it looked better than it did. I repainted his buffers, which is also a start. I gave him an extra side rod. Now that was from a Hit Toys Edward that I got recently, that I don't really have a use for. Now, the side rod, he had both initially when I bought him, but the thing with him is that I ripped off one of his side rods to use for Tommy Oliver, and I realized it was slightly too short. So that, plus it didn't really fit well with Oliver, so I had to rip it out, and the plastic was stretched. It was just bad. On the other side, the side rod, that's just the natural one. And then at the back here, a talk and action coupler. What's the plan here? Talk and action Edward. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a bit of money, but I have plans for this. I have plans. The current plan is to find a beat-up Gordon, or just Gordon tender in like a parts lot, like a talk and action Gordon tender specifically. This is so I can have the same tender length as Henry Gordon, or talk and action Henry Gordon and James, and so that I can attach it to Edward. You know, it'll obviously look convincing. Now, what's the goal here? I'm not sure how I'm going to do the wiring when I eventually do buy it, or get it, rather. The coupling is being held in place with a toothpick. As the assembly, it's weird. I got two of the same piece for each end. They're supposed to be slightly different, but yeah, so that's how we're going to make that work for now. And then the plan, once I get the tender, I'll scrape off the Gordon stickers, and then I'm just gonna put regular Edward ones, but I'll apply them so that they look like they fit. And then yeah, so then when it attaches, I'll have a rough idea, a rough edit, how it's gonna look. I already have a talk and action Gordon, but I only have one, and I'm not ruining him for this. But yeah, all the easy work's been done, so once I get the tender, we can just attach it here. And then we'll open Edward up, figure out what to do for the wiring. For all I know, this might just be a cosmetic thing, because the only talk and action engines released were Thomas, Henry, Gordon, James, Percy, Toby, and Diesel 10. There was no Edward or Lady. Those two are the ones I found out. Those two being left out, I think, was weird. Edward also needs traction tires. I replaced his screws as they were really rusty, and I did not want to. I didn't want them to strip. His wires are still out there, but yeah, he's clearly sun faded. But you know, this will be a better use for him. So yeah. Traction tires. I could just take them from like a spare chassis I have. I have a spare Toby chassis I'm looking at over there. But, you know, I think, why could I do that when I can make his story better? As I'm getting some spare parts soon, might as well just use use that then. Then, like, the hardest part's just gonna be finding a spare tender or spare gourd. That's gonna be the hardest part. And then I think that's gonna be it. Edward did have his original tender coupling. What I'm gonna do with that is I'll go get it actually. I put it with a new engine, which I'll be getting this tender for Hank. I'm getting a Hank tender soon, which does not have the front coupling for the tender. So I figured I might as well just use this anyway, since it won't have a purpose, and it can couple them up permanently. So that'll be cool. I've had this Hank for, I want to say, 3 or 4 years now, so I'm glad he'll finally have a tender, which is good. So, yeah. Yeah, so this is just a work in progress. I'm not sure when it will be completed. It's gonna take a while. I should probably buy the stickers soon, just so that I have them when I get the tender. But yeah, so I'm what's a good? I'm kind of stumped right now. It's 10 p.m. and I need to go to sleep because day out with Thomas is tomorrow at the time of filming this. So, yeah, I might make a video tomorrow. You guys may see it, but yeah. So I just wanted a quick update to show like what I've been working on. He will be completed soon. I'll say that. It's gonna take a while, but yeah. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. I'm not sure when it'll be, but yeah. Peace out.